walking in Vondel Park. Met some great video artists. I guess you'd call them hybrid artists. They do video installations, painting, sculpting, films, music. We had some great conversations last night. One was about the difference between using your lucid creative mind and your intellectual creative mind, and how as you gain more, I guess, control of your craft, you tend to use a lot more intellectual creative process, as you will, which kind of stunts the growth of your lucid mind, that the mind side that just grabs all these new and exciting things and things that don't readily come to you. And we're just talking about the importance of that, the way of breaking that down, how to use both, when to use both, how to keep both open and pumping, keep both muscles firing up as you will, as you create. So far, the festival has been incredible. It's you're in the right place when your mind gets open and gets you ready for the next film you have to make. I feel like that's what's happening here. Just opening the muscles, getting them ready to produce again. So stay with us. We'll see what happens next. I found the health food store. They got a lot of brilliant stuff here. They got some soy yogurt with probiotics, which is always great when you're traveling. You can replenish the flora in your body. Get yourself back to business. They got all nice kind of treats that I like. Tofu, wieners. I love wieners. They got snacks. All kinds of nice little tofu items. Tofu burgers. I guess this is the company out here. Promella. Brilliant. It's nice. I feel like I'm at home. Don't tell anybody. Ooh, corn. Gotta get the flora right. Get that flora right. Get the flora right. Because I just had a session. Went down there and woo, was not pretty. Got the travel booty.
So the realistic representation would slowly transform into a more utopian model, considering the wishes and needs of the people using the context on a daily basis. So we wanted to research the tension between individual needs, community needs, and the regulation and restrictions that the government is imposing. So we ourselves didn't assume that the neighborhood needed to change or improve. We just wanted to test the method of setting up a democratic platform in order to unravel the negotiating about space. So we specifically zoomed in on one locality and one street to be able to analyze the complexity of the urban fabric. And we lived and worked in this particular street for 10 months.
We decided to talk about what was strong about its urbanization, because what made Istanbul is, in a way, the process of self-organization. So in the last 50 years, we always say Turks actually invaded Istanbul 1453, but actually the real invasion happened in the last 50 years, not 500 years ago, but in the last 50 years, the whole urbanization, the whole scene has changed. So a city less than 500,000 has grew into 14 million city. So how did this happen? In a way, this was what we were questioning in the Biennale. And the city grew, there was no master plan, there was no planner, there was no visionary, there was no plan. So how did this happen then? What you see in this map actually is the red parts that are still today informal. It is considered informal or gecekondu areas, what we say in Turkey. Gecekondus are the informal houses that are being built by people themselves. And can you go back to the map, please? And the orange areas are the areas, again, that were built by people, but then they were legalized in time. So if you add up orange parts and the red parts on the map, you can understand how Istanbul has been made, actually. It is made by people, but not professionals. Thanks. So there must have been something that has regulated. There must have been something that makes this 14 million city, so that's what we were looking for. And we realized that there were conditions and there were
centralism. So the fact that all the people is gathered in the capital is not only about people, it's also about the power, political, economical, cultural power in the capital, which brings us to another problem, which is inequity. So as a consequence of that, in the last decades, many people from the province came to the capital, of course, looking for opportunities. And that brings us to another consequence, which is unplanned growth. So basically, Lima was really, in the last decades, really grow in an unplanned way. So let's see what happened with the population in the last 70 years. By 1940, we were 500,000, and now we are more than 8 million. So
Een hele goede avond, dat is lekker. Hey jongens. Not here. They're not here. I don't know if you can get the proper perspective on this, but this is like a wall showing you Dutch staircase. Seriously, like a wall. It's like what? It's like walking up a ladder. Yo! Yo! This is crazy. There's more stairs. Look at this one.